everyone, Draco Magnius here for another episode of Let's Blindly Stream Angels with Scaly Wings. In the last episode, we unfortunately failed to save the world of dragons. Or I guess it's technically the past of the regular world, but that's neither here nor there. We failed to save it because the generators got blown up by the bomb that we were trying to use to beat Reza, and we traveled back in time, hung out with Remy for a bit, and we're going to see what we do in Chapter 2. So let's have at it. Oh, I should also move my screen so I can actually see the chat. It was kind of covering it right up. Alright. Damn it, I think right there is good. Okay, now I should be good. It was a relief to leave the crime scene, considering all that had happened. When I reached into my pocket to take a look at the list, however, I found something unexpected. It was a small piece of paper with the word Tatsu written on it. How did it get there? How indeed. My earlier encounter with the masked man was the only time today somebody was close enough to smuggle something into my pocket. I figured if someone like Bryce tried to do something like that, I definitely would have noticed. As for Tatsu, the only related thing I could think of was Tatsu Park, which I had come across when I went to the police station the other day. Even if that park was the place the mysterious paper referred to, I didn't know if it was actually a good idea to visit. The masked person may have saved me from the falling light fixture, but if it was Reza, it would mean following someone who was also the prime suspect of 2 murders. I also had to consider the list of places Reza had been to: a local grocery store, the production facility we had visited, and the library were the 3 places closest to here. It certainly was going to be a busy day, and I knew I wouldn't have the time to visit all of them. Let's visit Tatsu Park. Feeling the Tatsu. Tatsu Park, here I am. I don't know what I'm even looking for, though. Read the sign? This park is dedicated to our creator, to whom we owe our sentience and existence. As it is our duty to remember, this place honors them every day with its beauty, and grants a place for recreation and contemplation to us all. Interesting. Let's look at the map. This park is bigger than I thought. I could go north towards Tatsu Avenue, which apparently is a nice spot to look at the landscape, or south to the political district. Where should I go? Now let's stay in the central area for now, because I want to look at the other stuff. Yeah, this totally won't look strange or suspicious. Here we go. I found some dirt. There doesn't seem to be anything else here. Oh boy, a handful of dirt, and now I have archaeologist. Search the pavilion. Never know what you'll find around the pavilion. Let's do this. There doesn't seem to be anything important here, but at least it provides excellent shade. Alright, now let's look at the map. Tatsu Avenue or the political district? Let's go to Tatsu Avenue. Open the hatch. Let's examine the fallen leaves first. I don't recognize this species of tree. Finally, a place to sit down. View of the scenery is perfect. You appreciate the landscape for a bit. Woo, landscaper! Man, I'm an achievement machine all of a sudden. That was nice. I'm just about to get up when I noticed someone sitting next to me. Well, I didn't see you there. I thought you were a statue or something. Hello? Well, maybe it is a statue, or I just turned invisible. I hope it's not the latter. Okay. Well, anyway, I'm going to look at this hatch here. On the middle covering of the hatch, there are 2 buttons which are situated left and right of the central circular lever. The arrows on the lever is pointing up. Turn lever counterclockwise? The arm on the lever is now pointing left. don't know what I'm doing here. Oh wait, counterclockwise. First button is now pressed and it sits flush with the metal covering on the latch. Second button is pressed and sits flush with its metal covering on the hatch. I literally have zero idea what I'm doing. I guess I should probably leave this alone, because I don't know what the fuck I need to do with that. Search the... No, wait. Let's go to the map again. Political district. Why not? Just as I entered the southern part of the park, I found myself tumbling to the ground when somebody suddenly bumped into me. Ouch! Sorry about that. Are you alright? Besides being a little dirtier than before, I think so. I should really look where I'm going. Sometimes I just get lost in my thoughts. Hey, I think you dropped this. Oh, thank you. Ghost stories, huh? Yep. Oh, I should probably go before the bookstore closes. Bye! Bye. There's someone sitting on the benches. I will approach. What a most pleasant surprise to be meeting you here, Draco. Do you know who I am? I do. And what brings you here today, Draco? I'm not quite sure of that myself. The park does have an appeal that naturally draws people in. I would know, since I'm partly responsible for creating it. Have you seen the north side yet? If not, you totally should. It's so pretty this time of year. You created this park? Well, some of it. You see the building behind me? That's where I work. Do you want to know a secret? The park was built here so I could enjoy going outside on my breaks, like right now, for example. Speaking of your work, Remy works for you, right? I just met him the other day. Oh, Remy, quite the little nerd, isn't he? Have you seen his malformed ears? I want to laugh every single time I see him. Rude? That's not very nice. Be that as it may, I just can't help it. Can I ask you a question? You can ask for sure, but whether I can answer or not is another question. What would you like to know? I want to know about your job a little bit more. Tell me more about your job. I could, but I think overall it's a very boring affair. It involves a lot of reading and talking and approving or rejecting forms and projects. It has its perks, but in some ways I'll certainly be happy when my term is over. If you've been minister once, that's something people will remember you for. Even if those times are long past, no one can ever take that away from you again. You mentioned your term ending. How does that work here? We, the ministers, serve our term, then someone else takes our place. Only one minister changes at a time, though. Hey, Howard. I just got into playing. You didn't miss much. Trying to figure some stuff out. There was like this metal hatch somewhere. I couldn't figure out what to do with it, so now we're talking to Emra here. Technically speaking, any person can become a minister, though there are certain standards and requirements that must be met in order to apply for office. I don't want to bore you with the details, as that would be a long and tedious affair. How about the park? You tell me more about Tatsu Park? Well, I'm not so sure there's much to say about it. It just opened recently, and I think the initial request was for more open spaces, like a dedicated place for people to gather and such. If you read the plaque, you would know that the park was dedicated to our so-called creator. I say creator like that because I think the word is a bit of a misnomer. But I suppose people still use it regardless. your visit. What do you think about us visiting this world? You and Reza? Well, I think it's about the most exciting thing that's happened here in the last few years. It certainly has been a nice distraction from the other boring things I have to do at work. Whoops! I accidentally hit the mouse wheel and scrolled up. How so? Arranging your arrival was partly my responsibility. In fact, I would have been at the portal to welcome you myself if something didn't come up at the last second. That's all. I suppose I should be getting back to work anyway. Well, thank you for this most pleasant conversation, Draco. Alright, now let's see. Let's look at the map again. Let's go to Tatsu Avenue, because I am very curious. Wait, hold on. Okay, nothing new from there. If I sit on the bench again... Okay, no. So open the hatch. I don't have a code for this, so this might be something I'll have to come back to. I mean, unless I want to look up what the code is and cheat the system, but no, let's go back. So I did look around Tatsu Park, I had a nice conversation, I got some dirt, I sat on a bench and met a dragon that just sort of sat still like a statue. Let's stop searching the park for now. I don't think I'll find anything else here. Alright, I could go to the library, the production facility, or the grocery store. I'm a quick save real quick here. Grocery store, production facility, the library. I don't recall where I went last time. Library? Alright, Reza. What did you want here? Hey, it's Remy! I already told you, it's not here! Who's he talking to? Adine? Won't you help out an old friend? Friend? This is the first time you've spoken to me in years! Whose fault is that? For you, I didn't even exist these last few years. At least I tried to reach out to you. No, you're just here because you want something. Right here, right now, and you still continue to act like that? She was my friend too, you know. I think you should leave. For what it's worth, I'm sorry for everything. A little late for apologies. Have it your way, then. Adine stormed out so quickly that she didn't even notice me. I waited a few moments and wondered if it was a good time to talk to Remy. In the end, I decided that my task was too pressing to come back another time. I shuffled through books and tried to look busy until I noticed he resumed his work so I could approach him. Oh, hello, Draco. Good to see you. Do you need anything? Has Reza been here recently? Reza, he visited quite often since he arrived. Actually, a few days ago, that is. Do you know what he was reading? Not particularly, though I thought he just wanted to learn about our world. Did you notice anything unusual about him while he was here? Can't say I did, though he did ask me for a map once. A map? Yes, I showed him a few, but none of them seemed to be what he was looking for. Did he talk to you about anything strange while he was here? Besides the maps, nothing else worth mentioning comes to mind. Only the usual pleasantries. How are you doing? I'm not sure, to be honest. There's a lot of things on my mind right now. Like what? I'm not at liberty to discuss them at the moment. I'm supposed to be working, you know. What did Adine want from you? Adine. Wait, you were here that whole time? Not the whole time, just long enough to know that something was up. It's nothing that concerns you. Come on, it does concern me. I know you. I know Adine. Adine. Why am I... Someone even told me how to pronounce it, and I'm struggling again to say it. It's really nothing of great importance. Are you aware of a certain prehistoric underground building we recently discovered? I've heard of it. She wanted a blueprint of it, which was one of the things found inside the building during the investigation. Why would you have it? We're not just a library, you know. but a whole archive that stores all sorts of information and objects. Do you remember that box you dropped last time you came here? Yeah. It was filled with artifacts. We have them here for safekeeping. In any case, a blueprint is the kind of thing that would be placed in our care eventually. So she thinks you have it? Even if we did, it wouldn't be something we could just give out to anyone. Of course. Well, that's all. Thanks for your help. You're welcome. The afternoon sun hung low in the sky, and I decided it was time to report my findings to police. A brief call to the department, and I was on my way to an appointment with Sebastian. My records indicate you've already experienced this scene in a satisfactory manner. Would you like to skip the character selection? Yeah, as you wish. Sorry, I took a moment to sip some water. Anyway, you said you had some information for us, so what did you find out? The map in the library. I don't know what to think about that. He could have needed a map to plan something, I suppose, but who knows what he really wanted to do with it. It's the kind of detail that, on its own, might not tell us much, but could be crucial later on. Good work, Draco. It's not much to go on, but it's something. It'll keep us busy, at least. In any case, thanks for your help. We really do appreciate it. You're welcome. That should be all then. Since Bray still hasn't come back, I assume the search is still going on. And I better get out there and help him. Guess it's going to be a long day. Can you find your way back to your apartment? Of course. Alright, see you later. Good luck. Finally, some free time. Whatever am I going to do? How about Anna? I do want to continue her plot. And just on time. Now, where was she? Hello? What's this? Looks like a message. Something came up at the last second. Wait for me. It shouldn't be too long. Anna. I guess at the last second is meant in a literal sense here? Or else she could have just called me. Guess we're playing the waiting game then. I do remember this scene. Okay, it's been like an hour, and my patience is slowly but surely running out. I'll still wait. I've already waited this long, so I guess I can wait a little longer. Not sure who the world record holder for the most patient person is, but now I feel I'm a contender. Still no sign of her, though. I will be a waiting paragon! Well, she doesn't show up soon, I'm done. There you are. Where have you been all this time? Reading comprehension must not be your strong suit, because my note clearly said I'd be back soon. Note to self, the word soon now refers to a time span over 2 hours when waiting for a scheduled appointment. Has it really been that long? It certainly didn't feel like it. My records indicate you've already experienced the scene in a satisfactory manner. Would you like to skip to the end? Ah, there it is. I was wondering. You know, I could have done this differently, but let's skip ahead, as you wish. Well, that was interesting. Wait a minute, I've got something for you. Here you go, your test results on black on white. Thanks, but did you really need to spend all that extra time getting this done today? I just wanted to get it over with when I had the chance. Maybe you should start thinking about not working so late on a regular basis. Might do you some good, Anna. Why do you think so? I'm just saying, if it usually gets as bad as it did today, that's not a good sign. I just didn't pay attention to the time, but I guess that's because I barely go out anyway. I didn't even think about watching the clock. Okay, point taken. So, what are you gonna do? I'll think about it. You know, now that this date is officially over, I don't work overtime every single day. I could fit you in for your end of the deal. Of course you didn't forget about that. I'll let you know the details, or just call me if I forget. Sure. Nothing going on today. I guess I can do whatever. Fuck it, let's do lunch. I remembered that Adine, I'm pretty sure Adine, had told me that the cafe did deliveries as well. Not having anything else better to do, I figured I should try it out. I made an order with a quick phone call, and it wasn't long before the doorbell rang. Well, that was quick. It just so happened that Adine herself stood in the doorway, dripping wet with a damp container in her grip. Aww. Poor Adine. Oh, it's you again. We were over this, but at least you didn't... Don't reduce me to my species anymore. Likewise. Shouldn't come as a surprise, considering you knew I delivered for the cafe. Here's your order. Sorry, it got a little wet, but it should still be okay. Pity you'd fall in the river. You're soaked, so why don't you come in? Thanks, I was just about to ask if I could stay for a little while. This was actually my last delivery for the day, and I live on the other side of town. Of course, I can let you fly back when it's this ugly outside. My records indicate you've already experienced this scene in a satisfactory manner. Would you like to skip to the end? Yes, as you wish. You know, if you want me to come over again, you don't have to order anything to do it. Here's my private number. Keep that in mind, thanks. Bye! Wow, that was really fast. I mean, normally I would do just one chapter, but since this is so fast, I might as well continue into Chapter 3. With all the skipping, we might as well get used to doing multiple chapters in one episode. And this game is 5 chapters long, so it's possible that I may have screwed myself by certain choices I've made and not done anything new. The morning sun declared the arrival of a new day, and I awoke from my vivid dreams. Memories of my home, enclosed with the towering perimeter wall, raced through my head. The peaceful landscape outside the apartment window stood in defiance of these old thoughts. Rolling hills and blue skies were familiar to me now, and the purity of the sight gave me hope. Draco, please come with me. What's going on? You sound serious. The Chief will explain everything once we arrive. Okay? I'm gonna take another sip of water. One moment, please. Hey, Chief, Draco is here. Thanks, Sebastian. You can deal with the situation here while I talk to Draco, alright? Of course. Draco, I've got some really bad news. Well, what is it? You know Anna, right? I've met her, yes. How about her assistant? I met him once or twice. Well, that's him. Yeah. I forget, did he die last time? In the last train events? It has been a long time since I have played. Are you okay? I'm fine. Yeah, I'm fine. Let's just get this over with. And here's some more bad news. The blood we found on the first victim in town matches the DNA evidence found on the second victim at the power facility. Furthermore, the murder weapon and method appear to be the same across all 3 victims. And that's going to be a big problem for you. Why is that? Because with these 3 murders, Reza now qualifies as a serial killer. We won't be able to keep this whole thing quiet for much longer. Higher authorities, including the ministry in charge of your whole visit, will know about this soon. I have no idea what will happen once they do. I'm not sure what to say to that. I don't want to worry you, but we can be sure that action will be taken soon. I've been considering this possibility for a while, and I think it might be best if you went back to your world for now. This way, we can take action before the ministry does. And before this all becomes public, if we wait, we don't know what they'll do, or how the public will react. With everything going on, it's too dangerous for you to stay here. No. No? This would be the worst possible time for me to leave. We've given up our PDAs, and hardly have anything to show for it. We're owed several more generators, and let's not forget that Reza's still missing. If I leave now, the only thing I return home with is my life. I'll have lost everything else. We need those generators, Bryce. I have no idea if your authorities will continue to uphold our deal, or what they'll do to Reza, but I'm not leaving until this is over. That's your decision. If that's your decision, then so be it. My records indicate you've already experienced this section to a satisfactory manner. Would you like to skip this scene selection? Yeah, let's skip. As you wish. Let's see, what should I do? The police or the production? Let's go to the production facility. Hey, Draco! Lorem, right? Yep. Did you get a chance to think about what I told you last time? Don't worry, I didn't lose your number. They keep me pretty busy, so I don't really have much free time. Well, if anything changes, give me a call. I will. I gotta go now, so take care. You too. What was he doing here? This should be the right place. Oh, it's you. I'm a little busy, so I'm not sure if I should take any visitors at the moment. I have a few questions about the murder of your colleague. Is that so? Why do you get to go around asking questions like that? Is it a matter of human interest? Actually, yes, you could say so. Interesting. What's in it for me? Hey, I already agreed to do your tests. I'm not sure what else I could offer you. Besides, I'm working with the police, so your cooperation may be greatly appreciated. Oh, you're working for our police. Now you really have my attention. I want to see where you're going with this, so by all means, go ahead. Let's see. What happened the last time you saw him alive? Saw him yesterday evening. There were some tests I needed to run overnight, so instead of staying late to set them up, I had Damien do it. That's what colleagues are for, right? Can you tell me what happened when you found him? Might have left early yesterday, but I made up for it by coming in early today, before anyone else. That's why I was the one to find him. I was on my way to the office when I saw him lying in the middle of the hallway in a puddle of his own blood. What was your relationship? We were colleagues, nothing more. Heard that you didn't particularly like him. Yeah, but that's not unusual. I don't like most people. Really didn't like me, though. Why's that? He was jealous of my success, and it showed. Very calm for someone whose colleague was just murdered. People die every day. It's a simple fact of life. Besides, I don't see you crying about him either. Yeah, but I didn't know him all that much. I didn't know him that well, so it's not like someone I actually cared about died. You know what? Fair, I guess. I mean, he's just some guy you work with. You see him a lot, and it seems like you didn't really like each other all that much, so it's not shocking, I guess. The world stops spinning for no one. Life goes on. And for me, that means being without an assistant for a while. That's it. That'll be all. Thank you, Anna. My pleasure. Time to head back. So that didn't really get me anything of value. Before deciding my next move, I returned to my apartment for a moment of rest. A small piece of paper had been slipped under my door while I was gone. Don't go to the portal was all it said. I considered the possibility of a hidden message, but that was unlikely. The statement was blunt and quickly scrawled. Someone clearly didn't want me to go to the portal, but why would I go there in the first place? As it was out of order right now, such an action would serve no purpose. Looked outside the window at the portal's faint silhouette in the distance. Paper rustled between my fingers as I fidgeted with it, wondering about the message's sender and significance. My train of thought was violently interrupted by a sharp burst of gunfire echoing from the portal. I had to think fast. The gunshots ensured Reza's involvement. He was at the portal. The question was, why? If this was his attempt to flee back to the human world, he would receive a rather unpleasant surprise the moment he would try to use the portal. Or maybe Sebastian's theory was correct, and Reza held the part he needed to repair the portal, in which case his escape could be imminent. The gunshots themselves were another question. Was someone trying to stop him? The police patrol may have seen him, and he may have been taken by surprise. This could be another murder in progress. But all of his murders were committed with a sharp weapon before now, not a gun. He didn't want to be heard. Besides, it was only early evening, and the town was still bustling. If Reza wanted to stay hidden, he was doing a rather poor job at it. Of course, there was also the possibility that he wanted to be heard. But who would he want to attract? The police? Maverick? It could easily be a trap for those hunting him, and that technically included me. Though I wasn't sure if he knew my involvement in the investigation. There's also a very real possibility that he knew my apartment was close enough to the portal to hear gunshots. Could it be a signal for me? Regardless, the words I held in my head were unmistakable. Don't go to the portal. What should I do? Well, I think last time I went to the portal, or I didn't go to the portal, so let's go to the portal. Let's change things up a little bit. The path I took was a familiar one by now. Even with the night falling, it was easy for me to find a way around. The long, grotesque shadows stretched before me, and the atmosphere was eerie and dangerous. I couldn't tell if it was because the evening shrouded in darkness, or the urgent situation tugged at my mind and twisted my perception. I made it past the village border and pressed on. There was still a fair distance to go. Suddenly, gloved hands grabbed me from behind, and clamping over my mouth, I couldn't make a sound. When I could see, it was the same hooded figure I'd met in the maintenance room after the second murder. It's too late. Maverick arrived before you did, and he'll make sure that no one uses the portal today. Don't follow me. I was shoved to the ground before I could regain my composure. The figure vanished into the darkness. If Maverick was still in the area, it was not a good idea to stay here. I wouldn't want to fuel his suspicions, or worse. Figured it was time to go back to the police department anyway. You tried to go to the portal. Yay, reckless! There you are, Draco. Seems to me you've taken a liking to Bryce's chair. Maybe. I could get used to this. Don't tell Bryce, though. By the way, we have evidence that Reza visited the portal today. Someone reported loud bangs consistently with what we know about his weapon. We didn't manage to catch him, but I wonder if this stunt means he's getting desperate. Who knows? Now, let's take a look at what you've got for me. The witness report from Anna's good. Nothing new to us, but it's nice to have her statement in writing. Not bad, Draco. Not bad at all. Thanks for your help. I do what I can. I know, and your help is greatly appreciated, believe me. Especially since we're so short on staff right now. Excuse me? That'll be all for today. I'll contact you if we need anything else. Of course. See you next time. See you. Finally, a free day. Let's do Anna again. There you are. I was wondering if I'd ever, if you'd even show up. Or a person. I wouldn't miss an opportunity to meet you. I didn't have anything better. That one. The middle one. Glutton for punishment, huh? Not that I mind. Follow me, please. Aw, she's blushing. You can sort of tell. It's hard with her skin tone, but you can definitely see it's a bit redder on the snout. So what exactly is this room? It's our testing room for research on live subjects. And what exactly do you test here? You'll see that soon enough. I intend to use this facility to its fullest potential. I see. Let's start with this one. What's that? I can get a good look at your bone structure and muscle groups and organs with this. For the finer details, we'll need a different machine. Would you please lie down here? Of course. Before we start, can I ask about your qualifications? You can trust me. I'm a doctor. What kind of doctor? Well, Doctor of Pharmacy is the only title I currently hold, but I know how to operate this machinery. That doesn't exactly inspire confidence. Think I'd let an opportunity like this go to waste and by not doing my research? I'll have you know that I'm very qualified to perform these tests. If you say so. Now, please, try not to move too much while this is running. And how long will that be? Good question. I suppose we'll see soon enough. And what do we do now? Just wait until it's over? What do you want me to do? Dance for you so you don't get bored? I wouldn't mind. That might be a fun time. I'm sure you wouldn't, but I'm afraid I don't provide those kinds of services. You know, when I heard that something happened at the facility, I thought it might have been you. It's quite something, isn't it? You know, if I stayed as late as I used to, it might have been me instead of Damien. It's only because you told me to not stay not to stay late so often, that I wasn't there that night. Still, somebody died. I'm not crying over that bastard. Alright, you can move again. Oof. Does that mean I'm done? That's a good one. We're just getting started. What about the results? Don't hold your breath. It'll be processing for some time, and the resulting data will be so fast I'll probably end up studying it for days. Let's collect some samples now. Where should I start? Wherever you like. Show me your claws. I don't have that. That would be fingernails in my case. I suppose you're right. It would be insulting to call those thin little things yours claws. They'll probably break off before you can make use of them in any practical way. Just one more way nature gave us the short end of the stick. So which part would be fine for me to cut off? Take a piece from the white part. The rest you see is attached to the finger. Hold still then. Don't cut off too much. Don't worry, I only need enough to put under a microscope. There, that wasn't so bad. Do you want me to put a bandage on your little boo-boo? I'll show you a boo-boo. Better behave, I'm doing you a favor. Tough choice. What do I pick? She's teasing me. Better behave, I'm doing you a favor. I'll go with whatever. I don't want to be hostile. Oh, I guess with the right training, I can make something out of you after all. And what now? Now, it'll go right under the microscope. She got up and sat down at the table intently, and stared at a device while messing around with the nail clipping. Let's see. Putting your fingernail under a microscope is something we used to do in middle school. Quiet, please. There's a scientist at work here. Okay. The structure looks a lot like keratin. Because it is. Well, that's not much of a surprise, really. Keratin is the substance that forms claws on us dragons and most animals here. At least as far as mammals, reptiles, and birds are concerned. So, why do you retain the structure, but not do anything useful with it is beyond me. It gets better. They grow continuously, so they need to be cut regularly. What happens if you don't cut them? They just keep growing. How much can they keep growing? Pretty much indefinitely. They get thicker at least, or what else happens when they grow? They just get longer. What a hassle. So, how long are you planning to keep me here? Getting impatient already. I'm just saying our date didn't take all that long, and you mentioned you'll already have days' worth of data from that machine. Well, we never specified any terms, and I sat out our date until it was officially over. This will certainly go much quicker if you just show... I keep fumbling. This will certainly go by much quicker if you can show a little patience. Says the Queen of Complaining. I'll just shut up then. I'm gonna tease her a bit, says the Queen of Complaining. I don't complain, I just point out errors. Besides, I'd be Empress, not just a queen. By the way, how do you feel about needles? I don't mind them. Glad to hear that. We'll need to remove some layers for the next part. What are you going to do? Well, I imagine take some blood. These are just some electrodes. Oh, never mind. I'm wrong. And I'll also measure your brain activity with one of those helmets. Alright? There you go. What is it now? It's kind of cold in here. Is it? I suppose it might be for you, considering your lack of fur. Luckily, our scales are pretty good insulators. As you saw last time, it actually goes both ways, pretty resistant to both heat and cold. Just let me know if I turn blue. Turn blue when it gets cold? I'd like to see that. It was just a joke. Besides, when that happens, it's usually too late to get out of it again unscathed. What a shame. This will also take a while. I want to have a good reference to see how your rates change. Head shape's a little different from ours, but I think this one should do the trick. Perfect. Just as if it was made for you. I'm not so sure of that. By the way, how can you even be sure that your machine will have no adverse effects on me? I suppose I can't. That's mildly unsettling. Your physiology is similar enough to ours. There shouldn't be any problems. I see. Now, I'm going to ask you a few questions, and I'm going to give you a few answers, possibly. What is this, a polygraph test? No, this is something completely different. I'm also measuring your brain activity here. Besides, I don't really care about the truthfulness of your answers. Rather, this is to establish your natural highs and lows of the values I'm measuring. Go ahead, then. Let's start with the easy ones. Just say no to the following 3 questions. It doesn't matter if it's true or not, understood? No. I set myself up for this one, didn't I? You really did. And I'm a bit of a shitter, so, like, it was an easy target. Questions start now. Are you human? No. I see. Is your favorite color red? It is red, but no. Interesting. Have you been convicted of any crime? No. And that's truthful. I see. Now we'll get to the real part. You can answer the following questions however you like. Got it. Did it make you uneasy when you had to answer all the test questions negatively? Not really. I see. Interesting. Have you taken a liking to anyone here since you arrived? Yes. I see. Did you have any ulterior motives when you came to our world, or is it as simple as we are led to believe? There are no ulterior motives. I see. That's all for this test. You can take off the helmet, and I'll take care of the electrodes. This kind of seemed like an interrogation. I wanted to keep it simple by asking questions that I could get a reaction. I see. It's kind of a shame because, in the end, a lack of additional subjects for this test means those results might not be very useful to us. We'd probably need a few more humans. Then why do them in the first place? The data is still useful, just not as useful as it could be. And besides, I did tell you I'd make the most of this room. Well, what's next? I'm not sure yet. Do I want to get close enough to examine mucosa and orifices? Probably not, yes. There's only one person in this room who can answer that question. See, I like that answer. I guess so. We quarantined Reza when he initially arrived here, but skipped the procedures with you. After examining Reza, we didn't think humans by themselves posed any danger. Nevertheless, who knows what kind of illnesses and bacteria you might be housing as an alternative host. I'm not taking that risk without full protective suit. Does that mean your procedures are going to get a lot more invasive? No. I'm not in the mood to put the suit on and sterilize the whole room. To be fair, I haven't heard of anyone I've been in contact with getting any strange diseases thus far. Sure, but then I'd have to ask you if any of those actually got close enough to you. As in, intimately close. No orifice examinations, then. For the next part, we'll actually have to go outside. That sounds like fun. Depends. Here, strap this to your arm. What's this? A handheld monitor. I want to measure how you perform during exercise. Yes, ma'am. That's a good little human. Let's go then, shall we? Sure thing. I mean, I don't have a reason to say no. And now, take one lap around the block. I'll be waiting for you here. You can go as fast or as slow as you want, but try not to stop until you're back here. I'll be monitoring you, so I'll know if you try to do anything fishy. I wouldn't do such a thing. Piece of cake. Easier said than done, Draco. I'll be watching. Anyway, you can start whenever. The monitors should take care of the rest. Trying for consistent speed, I started with a light jog. Soon, I was outside the gate and around the corner when I met an unexpected surprise. Oh, hello, Draco. Hey, Remy. Just enjoying the fresh air, I see. What about you? Oh, I have some errands to run. Is Emerald breathing down the back of your neck again? Always. Well, I better not hold you up then. Until we meet again. See ya. Afterwards, I finished my lap around the block, arriving only a few minutes after I had started. I suppose it was too much to ask for a lap without any breaks. Maybe I shouldn't have expected you to be as fit as we are. I got distracted on the way. How so? Do you have to stop and smell some flowers? I met Remy. Remy? Oh, I wouldn't mind if that bastard kicked the bucket too. Jeez, Anna. What do you have against him? Such a self-righteous do-gooder. Who can't help but stick his nose where it doesn't belong. I don't care what he does as long as he doesn't mess with me. But he does mess with me, so I do care. Anyways, I've got your data, so we can head back inside if you're not too exhausted to walk. Of course. Alright, have a good night. Looking at your data, it's kind of hard to evaluate it without having any reference points. How much exercise do you usually get? Let's say a little. I see. Sure get to ask me a lot of questions here. All just part of the tests. Though, I think those were all the tests I need to run on you for today. Does that mean we're done here? Oh, some of the data from the scanning machine has been processed. We can look at some pretty pictures of you. Flattering as they may be. Why don't you print them out and have some of them framed? Alright, let's flirt. I'd rather look some pretty pictures of you. That's the best you can come up with? Seriously? I mean, I only have what the game gave me. Alright, I totally forgot you are a mammal. To encounter an intelligent mammal of all things, well, reasonably intelligent at the very least. Why is that so surprising? We already have your myths about humans. Myths are myths. Having you come here in the flesh is an entirely different thing. It's not like I could use our myths to get a scan like this one. It just seems so funny to me. Do you nurse your young from your teats as well? We do. Let me study your muscle groups for a bit. Do you want me to take my clothes off again? I meant the pictures. Oh, I see. You can stay for a bit longer, in case I have any questions. Okay. While I continued sitting on the bed, she went up to her table and started looking at the scans of the muscle groups. As we talked, her eyes never left the screen. Some of these structures are very similar to the ones found in Damien's kind. Not surprised, his stature is similar enough. True, true. Now, shut up and let me concentrate. Does that approach ever work? What are you talking about? You being that rude to everyone. Sorry. You apologized. That's a new one. I don't want to make any excuses, but with a high-pressure job like mine, I don't really get to go out and socialize much. Add some deteriorating circumstances to that and you get my life. Don't you have any friends? Not really. If you keep skipping grades like I did, and we're on the fast track in university, you wouldn't really have the time to make or keep any friends either. I think the last time I had a real friend was more than a decade ago. What happened to that friend? Well, we went to the same class for a while. I ended up skipping a grade after that year. She found new friends. I didn't. We still meet, but those visits became less and less frequent as time went on. I was around 10 years old when her parents prompted me to visit her. She was in the hospital. Apparently she had been for some time already. I didn't know because I hadn't seen her in quite a while at that point. She had contracted some sort of degenerative disease. It caused her to gradually lose control of her muscles. The case was particularly bad. She was already paralyzed from the neck down by the time I went to visit her. When I entered her room, I couldn't even pretend to be her friend. Lying in the bed was just a crude image of her former self. It was as if she was already dead. I couldn't bear to see her like that. It scared me. I didn't stay long. Seeing her like that was... I just told myself I never wanted to end up like her. Dying slowly, painfully, and alone. That was the last time I saw her. She died a few weeks later. That's why you became a scientist? Not really. I became a scientist because that's apparently what I'm good at. Doesn't make my work any less important, though. Just from what we did here today, we might make a few breakthroughs in several areas. Really? You are a completely different, yet stable evolutionary line. There are some things that are similar in our bodies, and others that are completely different. Anything that is different and works can tell us something new about biology. All the various species have their own challenges and diseases. It'll come in handy somewhere, for sure. And you're doing all of that because of your pure, unselfish heart. Not really. But if I do the brunt of the work, then I deserve to have my name on it. I guess so. Well, I think that's it for the day. You can go if you like. Sure, thanks for having me. My pleasure. We can get together if you want. Is there even anything left for you to test? Well, I have plenty of data for a while, so I guess we'd have to find something else for us to do. I see. Well, I'll leave you to your work then. Looks like I have some free time today. Let's meet with the dean. This should be the right address. I'm coming! Oh, it's you! I was expecting someone else. You're a little early. Yeah, I didn't know how long it would take me to get here. Better early than late, right? You know, I'm glad they decided not to send you away after all. Me too. And who might that be? This is Emily. She's one of the kids I work with. Hello, Emily. Say hi, Emily. Hello. I just have to bring her back to her back to the orphanage real quick. Feel free to make yourself at home in the meantime, okay? Sure. Yeah, let's skip since I've already done this. By the way, could you do me a favor? That depends on the favor, I suppose. It's kind of a long story, but there's something I need you to do. You know some people at the police station, right? Yes? I think they're in possession of a map related to an underground building they found. I've heard about that. Oh, that's great! Maybe you can get them to hand it over? It doesn't have to be a real thing. A copy would be just fine. What do you even need it for? Let's just say I'm interested in doing a little investigation of the place myself. What's so special about it? It's supposed to be the remnants of an earlier civilization, or maybe even something created by humans. Who wouldn't be interested in that? Human from you isn't enough. I can think of a few people. I'd pay to visit that myself if I could. Let's do that. See, I think if you put your word in, we could easily make it happen. How do I even ask for something like that? You could always say that humanity is interested in it. Honestly, they probably would be. Could you ask them for me, please? I can try. I won't promise anything, but I can certainly try. Thank you. That means a lot to me. I didn't know you were into archaeology. I wouldn't care as much if it turned out to just be some old building. The whole thing about it being made by humans is what's really interesting. Why is that? Well, the myths wouldn't be very mythical anymore if that was the case. We'd have proof. And that's so shortly after finding out that humans are in fact real. Yes, what a time to be alive. So you believe in all that stuff? Belief isn't the right word when you're standing in front of me, you know. That alone is a miracle. I get excited all over again just thinking about it. Speaking of which, all this excitement made me lose track of time. Is it that late already? Oh, actually I have places to be, especially if I want to make sure my contest application arrives on time. Guess I should be going then, huh? For now, at least. I certainly wouldn't mind if you stopped by again sometime. Will there be any magazines involved? Actually, that magazine doesn't come out that often, so we wouldn't have anything new from them. I could get a different one if you wanted to, though. Don't bother. If you say so. Anyway, I really have to go, so I'll see you around. Alright, now we're at Chapter 4, Intuition. Well, it was Lost, then Intuition. Interesting. I awoke with my eyes fixed on the ceiling wallpaper. A sense of dread lingered from the nightmare that I no longer remembered. Alright, I'm gonna do a quick... well, not a quick save. I'm gonna do a proper save here. I'll do this one. Alright. Well, with that, I think we're gonna end this particular episode here. In the next one, I'm gonna... well, we're gonna continue on down through Chapter 4 and probably 5. I'm gonna go off to do some Yakuza... I almost said... well, I mean, it is technically Yakuza 7, right? Yakuza Like a Dragon. I'll be streaming that in a little bit. But, I'll see you guys then.